wonderful people. I think I should come in a little bit more, shouldn't I? Come closer to my baby. How are you guys? Welcome to this second episode. And we're talking about today, what's our topic?
Incantation, the power of incantation.
The power series. We're talking about the power of incantation today. Now, this was really important based on the fact that we covered the power of setting and achieving goals. And there we went through the purpose of a goal, setting a goal and achieving a goal. So we want to, it's like a follow-on from that. So we want to talk about the power of incantation. Before, I want to read a quote to you from my book, Time to Break Free. I wrote a whole chapter, it's chapter 7, on this topic that we're about to talk about. So if you really want a really in-depth knowledge of this, then I suggest, grab the book on Amazon. Right, this quote is really powerful. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. Think only of the best, work only for the best, and expect only the best. Forget the mistakes of the past and press on the greater achievements of the future. Give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. I love that one. Live in the faith that the whole world is on your side, as long as you are true to the best that is in you. Christian D. Larson. What a great quote. I think you should have that on your dream wall, your dream board, and you should echo those words into our brains and our minds and our hearts every single day. So we want to talk about incantations today, Anna. So what is incantation?
Incantation, as we mentioned as we mentioned last week, is a tool that will help you to achieve your goals. And it's something that becomes a part of your identity. Basically, it's a tool that helps you to choose your identity and helps you to make it come true, make it part of your own being.
So the reason that the question you guys might be asking is, what is an incantation? Well, an incantation is a series of words that you put together, you've crafted beautifully together. It's a bit like affirmations, but a lot more powerful than affirmations. And for us, when we created this many moons ago, I remember it was way back in 2017, you created your own incantation. Do you want to share your story about the power of it? And when you wrote all the stuff down initially, the first thing was, did you believe it? And then what happened afterwards to install that into yourself that made you then believe it and, more importantly, achieve everything on it? Just elaborate for the audience.
So if you guys know my journey in personal development, you'll probably know that I was not into all this stuff and I found it all weird. But thanks to my husband, I was kind of at first lightly forced to adopt a lot of these things, and thank God for that. And so incantation was one of the things that my husband suggested. I did, and I wrote my own incantation, and we'll be talking about how to form your incantation, exactly what words to use, in what format, etc. At the moment, I don't have one that I would share with you, but because I'm in the process of writing a new one, and that's simply because the one that I had before kind of came true, and I just need to set new goals for myself that I would incorporate in my new incantation. My incantation was quite long, and there were several things that came true. My incantation included things such as, and that was at the time I was not a dog owner, but I wanted to get a dog, so I put it in my incantation. I wanted to become a personal trainer, I put it in my incantation. I wanted to be a mother, I put it in my incantation. Then also I was changing the incantation as we went, and when these things came true for me, and then I simply adjusted the incantation again, because when we moved to Prague, I wanted to get a good job where I will be recognized and were a job that I will enjoy, and that came true as well. So for me, it helped me a lot to believe that I can achieve those things, because as it goes with dreams and wishes, we are like, oh, I wish, if only it was true for me, or we don't even believe that we are worthy of those things. But with incantation, when you engrave it into yourself that that's who you are, then those things will just manifest for you.
Absolutely. So I can elaborate a little bit more because she's quite modest. She does not like to share her own story, but literally everything she wrote down in her incantation, she's achieved. Therefore, she needs to create a new one, a bigger one. So I often like incantation to almost like setting your goals. You could combine, you don't have to, by the way, you could combine your own goals, excuse me, with incantation. By the way, if you're watching live, please give us some likes and say hi. We know Mika's watching. Hi, Mika, how are you? So if you want to contribute to the conversation, please feel free to ask a question or whatever, or get involved. We really appreciate that, whether you're watching live or you're watching as a retake. Now, excuse me, clear my throat a little bit. For us, the way I see the difference between it, if you can combine, what I was saying is, if you can combine your goals with your incantation, it becomes really, really powerful. So the way I've taught people and clients and myself, the way we've done it is I've looked at what I want to achieve. I've looked at the kind of characteristics that I want to be and become. And I've included those in my incantation. So my incantation becomes my masterpiece for my life. So it's big, it's audacious. And sometimes when I say to people, make it something that you've never achieved before, so that when you achieve it, it scares the shit out of you, but excites you at the same time. It's like, wow, I don't believe I just did that. So it could take, if you create a masterpiece, it could take you a few years to actually achieve it. So like my wife did, I used to change it every year. And every year I'll write something out and I'll achieve it all. I'll write something out, but by the end of the year, I've got it. But I was like, oh, this is amazing. I really like this. And I was sharing the story with you. When I look back, I wrote something in 2002. And I look back at everything that I wrote, and I've achieved literally everything on the list. So I saw, what next? So in 2017, what I decided to do was to create a masterpiece. So I literally combined my incantation with my goals. And that, ladies and folks, I literally, for the next 2 years, I recited it, I wrote it down, I embedded it in myself for 90 days. I did it for over 2 years, nonstop. And I can tell you, even though since 2020 or since end of 2019, I've not really done anything with it. But for 2 years, every day, I would literally write it out, recite it, read it. I knew it, memorize it, internalize it. When I'm in the gym, I'm reciting. When I'm jogging, I'm reciting. Everywhere I am, I always had this incantation going in my brain. So why I said it's not just an affirmation is because it becomes something that you live, you embody, something that you are emotionally connected with on all levels, like physically, mentally, and spiritually. Therefore, you know it's going to happen, because when you first wrote yours down on paper and you first wrote all these things about owning a dog, becoming a personal trainer, getting a job where you'd be recognized within the management team and leading teams and all of that stuff, did you believe it?
No.
Exactly. So it's that you write something down, it's just, you wrote a bunch of words on a piece of paper, you don't really believe it, you know? But here's the magic. When you start to do certain things, there are 6 critical factors that will make your incantation become more powerful than just an ordinary affirmation. Because an affirmation is, you say, I'm weak, I'm weak, I'm weak. Well, that's a negative affirmation. But then you turn it around and do the opposite. I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. Now, that's really beautiful. Now, why is that important? Why do we tell people that incantation is the key and not affirmation? Now, if you were to say, I'm weak, I'm weak, I'm weak 5 times, that becomes an incantation. It's something that you've repeated over a period of time that now you embody, and it becomes an identity that you associate with. I'll say that again. It becomes an identity that you associate with. And most people forget it, right?
Yeah.
You say it over and over again, and we say all these things. There's some common words that we use, that, oh, I have a bad memory, you know? What else? Can you think of any? I have a bad memory, you know, or I'm too this, I'm too that.
Well, it was even part of the quote that you read, you know.
Yes, it is. It's part of the quote.
We just focus on the negative stuff.
We focus on the negative stuff, and that is what Tony refers to as a negative incantation. So like incantation rather than incantation. So it's like you focus on the opposite of what you want and you repeat that. Remember this, folks. You are what you think you are, you know? And your predominant thought on a daily basis is who you become, is what you create, is what you attract. It's not rocket science. We're not talking about rocket science here. But this is so powerful when you get this and you understand it. Tony puts it very, very succinctly. He says, if you're not incanting 15 to 20 minutes a day, then you're not doing what I teach. Tony got himself to where he is because of incantations. He wrote so many of them. The most common one that everybody knows is, I am the voice. You know, everybody knows that, they recite that. So having incantations for your life will literally change your life. It took Tony from earning a measly 30-something thousand a year to $1 million a year in 1 year. Now, you don't have to believe me or Anna. You just have to test this out for yourself, right? And start seeing the changes that it will make. Because when we talk about incantation, we talk about a rewiring, reconditioning of your mind, of your brain, of who you think you are. And remember that quote, when you focus so much on improving yourself, you don't have any time to criticize others because you're too busy doing what you're doing and being on your own journey. They say the only time that we lose track of our goals is when we start focusing on other things and other people. That is none of our business completely. So I want to give you 6 caveats that would make your incantations wonderful. And they're in my book, as I said before. So the first thing I already mentioned, they are phrases or words that you've cleverly put together. I will give you an example in a minute, that you've cleverly put together that it's very rhythmical, rhyming. I'm jumping the gun here, but you can repeat it over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, that becomes something that you embody. So the first thing is emotions. We are emotional creatures. We have to get emotionally engaged. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you started reading your incantation in the beginning and you were not emotionally invested in it and you weren't writing it down daily for the first 90 days. Why was that important? Why is that important to people to actually do that exercise and write it in the beginning for 90 days?
I think it's important that you really adopt what you are saying, that it becomes part of you, you know. And I think that's the difference, because a lot of people can be like, you can have 10 people doing the incantation, even doing it daily, reciting it daily, but their involvement with it, their emotional attachment to it, how they do it can be on very different level, and it also determines the results that they will get based on the incantation.
So emotionally involved means you see yourself already achieving those things, doing those things, embodying those things, and like I said, mentally, physically, and spiritually on all levels, you get emotionally involved as you go. And that's also to go with your goals as well. If you don't get emotionally involved in what you're doing, then it doesn't really mean anything to you. There's no drive, there's no passion about what you're doing. Second thing that I think is crucial is consistency. Now, this took you a while, didn't it? Why is consistency important?
So what you do with incantation, as any new habit that you want to like incorporate in your life, you have to go for 90 days. So with incantation, you start, and if you can't skip a day. So if you would miss a day or two, you have to start from the beginning to go for 90 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just checking if somebody's online. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to go for 90 days. So what's the key? Consistency is the key. Repetition is the mother of all skills. Whatever it is that you're going to do and you want to master something, then you've got to train your mind to do it over and 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 over. Did I say that enough? Did I say over and over again? Yeah. You're going to do it over and over and over again. Now, this is important because what will start to happen, and this is what I found, if you start to write your incantation out every day, for, I would say, by the 12th or 13th or 14th day, something starts to germinate, that you start to have a little belief about, wow, this is me, this could happen for me. But you got to start writing it. And you got to do it for 90 days straight. If you miss a day, you start again. I'll say it again. If you miss one day, you start again. Why is that important? Imagine you're giving energy to something. Let's use an analogy of a balloon. I'm blowing to the balloon. Every day it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. I'm getting momentum, I'm getting traction here. All of a sudden, Anna takes the pin, pops the balloon. What happens to the air? All the energy goes out. And that pin that Anna used to poke the balloon is equivalent to you missing a day. So all the built up energy, all the built up time that you've gained, all of a sudden you miss a day, all gone down the window. So you got to start again and rebuilding for 90 days. We used to mark out 90 days in our diaries, and we used to do it daily and take it off daily. If we missed a day, we start again. Yeah. I actually got to 60 something and started again. I got to 90 and started again.
Well, so, you had a lot of clients who also were starting like 100 times.
100 times. You know what this teaches you? It took me 6 goes to do a complete 90 days. I think it took you more than 6 goes.
Definitely.
How long? How many times did it take you to get it?
20 or 30.
Yeah, 20 or 30 goes to actually get to 90 in one straight sweep. So it's actually a good practice for discipline as well. That's what I found. Because if you don't have enough discipline, and I know I didn't have it growing up, so this was a really good exercise for me to get there. I'm still a work in progress, by the way, but it got me there, like literally 6 goes, and I got to 90 straight. And beyond that, I went for 2 years. I just told you, from 2017 right till December 2019, I did not miss a day. I kept writing it, and that's from January to December. Did not miss a single day. My wife is my witness. Yeah. She's my accountability. Did not miss a single day of writing it down. She bought me the diaries that are writing them in. Sure, I can even show you all of those. Literally every day, wrote it out. It was ingrained in me. It's a part of me, okay? So emotions, number 1, consistency, number 2, and number 3, poetic. This one I love. So it's got to be poetic. It's got to be something that rhymes, that you like, you know? It's almost like writing a lyric or writing a poem that it's got some kind of rhyming element to it. So it might sound something like, you know, I am getting better and better every day in every way. You see? Or I'm sillier than ever, louder than ever, and simply outrageous. I am totally healed and getting stronger and stronger every single day in every way. Or I am a total expression of health and vitality. So it's got to roll off the tongue, you know? So when you're writing your incantation, it's something that you love to read out loud, okay? You'll hear this more when I read my masterpiece for you in a minute. And then fourthly, reward yourself. We've got to reward ourselves. Why is that important?
Well, it's like with anything, you have to have some positive reinforcement, right? That you it's like a side goal, pretty much. You know that if you do a week or 2 or a month, that there is a reward. It's like with dogs, right?
Exactly. It's like a treat. Yeah, it's like a treat. So your dog sits down, little treat. Sit down, little treat. Well, obviously, in your case, you know, if you do a month, then you can treat yourself. Like, what are some of the treats that we have?
Well, we go out, or we get a cake.
We get a cake. You shouldn't be revealing that. Anyway, it's like a movie night. You know, we have a movie night, or it might be a cinema, or we buy ourselves something that we wanted. We say, you know what? When I achieve 90 days, I'm going to get myself that pair of trainers that I wanted, or something. So we reward ourselves, yeah, which is great. So you reward yourself. It's nice to reward yourself for every milestone. So maybe 30 days, reward yourself, 60 days, and then 90 days, definitely reward yourself. And then number 5, sameness. This is crucial. And I know you said something about, I was changing my incantation every day. Why is it important not to change it too much?
Well, you should only change it. Like, you should stick to what you write there till you achieve it. So you should only change it when you achieve it.
Absolutely.
And that's because, you know, I always remember the story that you said, or that, like, you ask for something in your incantation, whether it's a wish or a dream, and there is God above you or whatever, and he starts giving it to you. So he starts going, okay, there is the house that you want, the house that you want, the house that you want.
The house is coming.
Yeah. And you are like, oh, I don't want that house anymore. Now I want a new car. And it's like, okay, bring the house back, bring the house back, bring the house back. Let's give him the car is coming. And you are like, no, now I want a motorbike, you know? So the things that are on their way, they can't get to you because you are just changing your mind too often.
Beautiful. I can't say any more than that. We are creatures like, we look for shiny objects, and every 90 days we're changing our minds.
Well, if it was 90 days,
it would be nice, wouldn't it? But if you look at every successful person that you admire, that you know, they take one thing and they master it. Simple.
Yeah, and it's also the thing that if you are really, that's the difference, I think, between many of us and Tony Robbins, you know.
Yeah.
Because if there's just the one thing you focus on, you put your energy in, you put your every thought of the day in,
you'll achieve it.
Of course you will achieve it. But most of us, yeah, we have incantation. Then we focus a lot on the job. Then we think about we need to go to get some grocery done. We worry about our kids' school or kindergarten. You know, there's so much going on in our head. So many
distractions.
That, okay, we invest those 10 minutes into the incantation, but then we are like, okay, I'm done with it and I'm off to something else, rather than making it really like an ongoing part of our day.
Absolutely. So, sameness. I say this. Do not change the core things of your goal, but you can maybe tweak 1, 2, or 3 things to make it sound better. Not changing the goal, but tweaking it to make it rhyme better, to make it sound a little bit better to you. That is okay. You can always do that. But changing the core element of the goal, you're confusing your unconscious mind, as we just alluded to. So keep it simple, keep it factual, but make sure it's what you want. Have a lot of clarity around this. So before you ink it, before you write it down, make sure it's something that you're willing to work to get. You see, Bob Proctor put it beautifully. He said something like, you know, most people are asking, am I worthy of my goal? Which is the wrong question. You should ask yourself, is the goal worthy of me? You know, because, you know, I've never seen anyone that will die for a Rolex watch or die for a house or die for a house. But I have seen somebody who will literally die for a cause that they believe in. You know what I mean? We see people lying on the road for animal rights and stuff like that. They don't care, tie themselves up in bondage. You can kill me if you want. You see, something that you're willing to die for is something that you're passionate about, something that you put your whole heart and soul in. So think about it clearly before you write it down, before you put it down. Is this something that I'm willing to put all of my energy every single day in and focus on? And if that's right, go for it, because that's really what it's about. And then the final step, so I'll just recap. We've had emotions, consistency, poetic, reward, and sameness. Keep it the same. And number 6, accountability. Now that's the big one. Who are you going to be accountable to? Now, luckily I've been accountable to my wife, but sometimes she doesn't whip my ass as I would like her to. So I'd rather have other friends or other mentors that I'm accountable to outside of my relationship, which is usually the best. But you need accountability partners. Would you agree?
Yes.
You need people to hold you accountable to the things that you say you will do so that you do them, you know? And I know in most of the things that I want to do, if I'm not accountable, I'm accountable to myself, then it may get done, but I could take a long while getting it done. You know what I mean? But if I'm accountable to somebody and I said I'm going to do this, then the way our brains work, and I don't know why, maybe you can tell me why.
I think it's really about schooling system. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll do more for others than we'll do for ourselves. Maybe it's a significant thing.
Yes, significance, you know? And also the fact that, like, for instance, we all went through the schooling system and we were told what to do, and if you come the next day without a homework, you knew that there was going to be a consequence.
A consequence, you know? Yeah.
So I think that's also some kind of habits that we
have
in our
so we're accountable to our teachers. So
yeah.
you could have a valid point there. So this is what we're going to look at. So who's going to be your accountability partner? Definitely not your mom or your dad or your mother. It could be your mom or your dad, because that could be like whip the whip. But it shouldn't have to be your partner. It could be somebody you know will hold you accountable to what you say you're going to be doing.
Yeah, choose someone that you don't, when they tell you off for not doing it, you're not going to take it as nagging, which I think often happens.
Very true. Between partners, you might see it as nag. Stop nagging me. I'll do it whenever I want.
I feel like
you
he
say
nags
that,
me all
you know. Really? So confession time is coming out now on air. You know? Do you want to air your dirty laundry out here? It's fine. Go ahead. No, but I don't see it as nagging, but you see it as nagging. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different meaning around it. But the most important thing is, as we are both saying, and we both agree on it, mm-hmm. find somebody outside of your relationship to help you, to give you that reinforcement, because it's better. Because a mentor, somebody say you revere your mentor, you look up to your mentor, or somebody that inspires you, and they'll say, "Oh, did you do that stuff you said you were going to do last week? Did you write that book? I haven't done it yet." Okay, there's the consequences for it. So if there's a consequence for it, then you take that. But here's even what's more even important: if you turn the consequences around. So you can write a list of things that you would do if you didn't commit. But then those lists of things, your mentor will do it, not you. Ouch. Imagine. So you said you're going to do something and you didn't do it. Now your mentor has to do 50 push-ups and not you. They're going to say, you say you're going to do this, please follow through. I'm not going to be doing your punishments for you. And then if they don't do something, you have to do the punishment. Just a way of playing around with this. But you could do that. But if somebody said 50 push-ups with my wife, it's okay. I actually like working out. So I'll be happy to do the 50 push-ups, right? So make sure it's something that is a real consequence for you, is what I'm saying. So there you have it. 6 things. 6 caveats for a very good masterpiece, a very good incantation. Get emotionally involved with it. Be consistent with it. Make it poetic. Give yourself reward. Keep it the same and be accountable. That's it. So let me share with you my one, and then before we conclude, we'll give you a way of creating your own incantation. It's a simple formula that you can use that I teach people, but we'll give it to you here for free. So here's my one. I, Oluwatosin Ogunisi, I'm adventurous, taking calculated risk fearlessly. I'm articulate, caring, and cheerful. I'm a colorful, confident, courageous, creative, extremely energetic, flexible, funny, playful, intelligent, inspiring, loving, and positive. I am sincerely grateful for all that has been provided for me and my family thus far. And I am oneness, connected to everything and everyone on the planet, a goal achiever, a published author of 8 best-selling books, a billionaire creating earning capacities for millions of people around the world, a catalyst, an instrument of God, a healer, a leader, a mentor, a role model to others, a great family man, an expression of pure health and vitality, a champion, a roaring tiger from within, a born orator, sharing the voice of the universe to co-create destinies. That advises, strengthens, experiments, and appreciates life and all that it has to offer by gathering and applying information for knowledge, wisdom, and light in order to deliver high standards of trainings, which in turn allows me, you, and others to create and grab opportunities that is all around us. I protect others, I heal others, and I inspire others to give more, be more, do more, and have more in their lives. I am mad, M-A-D, because I make a difference. And as a result, I'm contributing to making this world a better place to live in. And I always play full out by tapping into my full potential every single day as I take full responsibility for my own life. That is who I am. The question is, who are you? That is my incantation. Thank you very much. So that is my incantation that I literally wrote for 2 years straight, ingrained in me. And I really believe that something has germinated within me. It's a big, audacious goal, huge. I may never in this lifetime become a billionaire, but the whole idea behind that is to help more people generate wealth, is to help people earn their own income earning capacity. That's the big goal there for me. That's the driving force behind that. So when you have this big audacious goal out there, if I become a multimillionaire, I'm happy. If I become a billionaire, I'm even happier because I can do more and help more people. But even if I become a thousandaire, maybe it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands that I achieve in this lifetime, I'm happy. But the goal is you're aiming for something way beyond your expectation, way beyond your wildest dream. Okay, something that is huge. I remember when I used to write 1 million, that was easy. I was like, oh, I could achieve that. It was easy. I could achieve 1 million, not a problem, blah, blah, blah. But when I put 1 billion down, it scared the shit out of me. It was like, really? Well, so how and what have you? So it's a big goal. And you can see, I want to write 8 books. I'm on my 4th one, but I want to write 8 books. So it's a gradual thing. It's a masterpiece. It incorporates some of my life goals, some of the characteristics that I want to achieve, and I'm becoming it. You're becoming with your incarnation. You're becoming, and that's the beauty of it. And my wife is going to be working on her masterpiece, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is a brand new
So
one.
my to-do list.
You're on your, she's going to make it a big, audacious goal. Who knows? Maybe one day she will share with you on one of these series. Anyway, so that's it. That is your incantation. How do you create one for yourself? Because you need to sit down and really create one for yourself. One of the best way to do that, like I said, you can grab my book, the exercises in the workbook. But also, if you are somebody that's really busy, we use 3 things. And I call it the ANV New Identity Generator. I'll say it again. The ANV New Identity Generator. What does ANV stand for? 1, A is adjectives, N is nouns, and V is verbs. So we choose a series of adjectives, a series of nouns, and a series of verbs, doing words, and we combine them together very cleverly with a formula. So you can make your own up, by the way. So when you look at adjectives, you can choose 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 10. It's up to you. Adjective that.
What's in the book? The little cheat sheet.
Yeah, I have a look in the book. There's a cheat sheet there, so you can see some adjectives there. But like I said, you can actually literally do your own and make a list of your own. And then we have a list of nouns as well, just quickly, as you can see there. And then you have a list of verbs, okay? And the whole idea is you select as many as you want on each, as many as you want. But I say to start off with, keep it short and sweet so you get into the habit of reading the incantation. So I would say when I'm doing an exercise for school kids or adults or whatever, I say choose 3, no more than 3 things. So they choose 3 adjectives, 3 nouns, and 3 verbs, just to get the idea of practicing it so it's not too long.
Because you have to learn to memorize it and recite it.
You have to learn to write it daily and memorize it. So in the beginning, when we first started, it was nice and short and sweet. Like I said, every year we achieved everything on it. And then it became bigger and bigger and bigger. And then in 2007, I decided, you know what? I want to combine my goals with my incantation to make it a masterpiece, which is what I read out to you in that way. Okay, so that takes a little bit more effort than just, a quick exercise of writing something that will make you feel good every single day. So here's what you do. Once you've got that, you put the word I, and then your bracket, you put your full name. That's important. And then you write the word I am, and then you put a list of the adjectives. I am, blah, 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 blah. You list your adjectives. And then you put the word and then you list your nouns. And then you put the word that, and then you list your verbs. That's the formula. I'll say that again. You put the word I, and then in brackets, you put your full name, Oluwatosin. Don't shorten your name. You want your full name in your incantation. And then you put the word am, A-M, and you write your list of your adjectives. You put the word and then you write the list of your nouns. And then you put the word that, and then you write the list of your verbs. Now, you can make the nouns and the verbs and the adjectives, you can make them all rhyme well and rhythmical and read well. Because sometimes when you just write a single word, it may not read as well as you would like it. You can add some words to it to make it read well like I have done. So the short example would be like this for you. It would be, I, John Smith, I am funny. So this is your adjectives. I, John Smith, I'm funny, inspiring, energetic, intelligent, flexible, happy, and then the word and then you list your nouns. And oneness, a mentor, a leader, a healer, and a dancer. That, and then you list your verbs. That protects others, inspires others to do more, makes a difference, taps into my full potential, plays full out, and takes full responsibility for my own life. Simple. That's it. That's a short, sweet incantation. Easy to remember, easy to recite every single day. Now, if you woke up every single day and you were reciting this to yourself for 10 or 15 minutes, you set your day up. And you can do it while you're exercising, while you're in the gym, whatever. So it doesn't have to take extra time, And another thing you could do, which we told you about last time, which I do and my wife does, is you could have the app. It's a gray one with a microphone called Voice Loop. Gray one with a microphone. It's a voice loop. Download the app. And what you can do is you can recite your incantation in there once. And every time it plays, it will just loop it for you, keep looping it for you. One of the best ways to condition your mind and condition yourself is through repetition. Remember we talk about it, consistency. How many times are you doing it daily? So I plug it into my ear at night before I go to bed, and I fall asleep with it. It's still playing. I wake up in the morning, it's still playing. It's still conditioning my mind while I'm sleeping. I wake up in the morning, I hear for a few minutes, done. You know, I could go to the gym and be listening to it on my AirPod, you know, just listening consistently, listening to it. That will make you even more attractive to people outside. It will set your day right. You just be glowing. People will see there's something different about you. What's different about you, man? They'll just be attracted to you because you're believing in yourself and you're becoming who you want to become, as opposed to all the negative stuff that we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. I haven't got a good memory. My ass is too big. My boob is too small. My boob is too tiny. My boob is too big. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. I'm too this. Or whatever the negative word may be. You know, our self-talk is so terrible that we need to focus on changing all of that. And you can change that through the power of incantation, not just affirmation. This is where it's different from affirmation, where you can say, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. But that's just, you know, a little bit lame when you look at the power of incantation in this way, as Tony does. So there you have it, folks. That is the power of incantation.
Yeah, and we'll be actually making a little write-up about the incantation, so you can review all the information that you heard from us. If you are more into reading rather than listening, we'll be putting that on our LinkedIn. So make sure you follow Mpowerment on LinkedIn, and you will get a summary of today's session there. Absolutely. So, what do you want to say? Anything in conclusion? In conclusion, well, sit down, well, wait for the post on LinkedIn, then sit down and write your incantation. And you can even share it with us. You know, you can either post it in a comment, or you can just send it to us in a private message. And if you need an accountability partner, well, let us know. Absolutely. We're more than happy to be your accountability partner as well. Send us an info. And here's the thing, actually, I'm going to make it even more exciting. The first 10 people to send us their incantation, no, actually, we like the number 8. The first 8 people, because 8 is our number. We got this little infinity 8 here that my wife made me do. Anyway, so we like the number 8. So the first 8 people to sending their incantation to us, I will send a copy of my book. Okay, so there you have it. The first 8 people, you get a copy of this book, and you can read through the whole entire chapter. It's the final chapter there, give you a little bit more understanding of incantation as a whole. I actually call it identity. So you're creating a whole new identity for yourself. So that is it, folks. That's all we have time for. Next week, do we know what the topic is, or we don't? No, but you can suggest a topic. Okay, we don't know what the topic is yet. You can suggest a topic. If not, we'll come up with another power of series, and we'll find something to link to that, and we'll share with you just maybe on Wednesday. We'll start to promote that and share that, and we'll let you know in advance. But here's something that I want to leave you with, like I'm always going to leave you with, is your mind is like a parachute. It never functions until it's open. So please, please, folks, keep your mind open today and every other day. We'll see you next week for another Power of series. Take care, God bless, and see you on Friday. Ciao.